what's really going on here? You're pissed off because you've got a spot.
Banana Boat Kids Sun Cream that was SPF 50 and it had a UVA rating of 2, which is pretty bad.
I genuinely think it's impossible to do anything and not be stressed. Like everyone, I've got my own sort of skin story, I suppose. I'd go by label, which I guess is dangerous because it's whoever shouts the loudest wins. What your body is now does not dictate what it can be in the future. I tell myself, I can't be confident today because...
Hi guys, so today I am interviewing the amazing Tommy. So he is, let me hopefully get this right, a gym owner, a dad to 2 amazing children, and a husband to the incredible Kelly, Self-Summit speaker, creator,
both those things.
TEDx soon-to-be talker.
Yep.
Life coach, business coach. Anything else
You
you
did
want
very
to add to
well.
this?
Human being.
Human being, yeah.
No, I think
How
you've
do you
covered.
do anything else other than all of those things?
I think, you know, anyone, I suppose, could have 8 or 9 things if they really broke it down, but I think you've done an amazing job there in summing me up. Thank you.
That was hard.
Yeah, well done.
How do you find doing all of that and not being stressed?
Impossible. Impossible to do. I think I genuinely think it's impossible to do anything and not be stressed.
Yeah.
Because stress is a natural part of the randomness of life.
Yeah.
You can't predict everything, and therefore there's always going to be concerns, and when there's concerns there's anxiety and there's stress.
Yeah.
So I think it's impossible to not be stressed. The dealing with the stress part, I rarely get really rattled.
Yeah.
Like I'll get stress and I'll even at some moments sit down and be like, WTF, you know, like literally don't know. But then I've just trained myself over the years to start looking for solutions instead of wallowing in the problem.
Yeah.
Start looking for solutions. So the stress is very much there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. How do you find the stress affects your skin, or do you find it does?
It's an interesting question. I don't think it does. Not like stress that I'm referring to in my head here in this conversation, which would be lots of things going on, not much time, blah blah blah. The thing that I find directly correlates to my skin is alcohol.
Yeah.
I find if I go out, which is rare, but I have like a night out, or I just have a weekend where I might have a few beers over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
I do find that triggers my skin. Absolutely. Yeah.
How does it trigger it? What happens when you get the...
So for me, my relationship with my skin, my complexion, has stabilised beautifully over probably since 25 years old. It's just very predictable now. It doesn't change unless I have these things we're talking about now, in which case it will just show up as like one volcano.
Yeah.
Like it'll literally just be the one.
The one.
Yeah, and
in
it's
the same
there.
Area, or?
Yeah, like I don't know if there's any sort of connection, but I tend to like around my temple.
Yeah.
I'll get one, and it won't even be that big, but it'll just stay there for ages.
Yeah.
Or I'll get like just a complete random one, like there or like there, like literally just a random just shows up.
Okay.
So I think, you know, I'm very grateful because like everyone, I've got my own sort of skin story, I suppose. And in my teenage years, I suppose with most people, although I had a pretty cruisy one in terms of my facial complexion, I used to get like pretty sore spots like on my back when I was like 14, 15.
Right.
Not want to go swimming, you know, staying well clear of stuff like that. And then I remember in like, when I first moved to New Zealand, I remember getting so many breakouts.
Yeah.
And I was about 19.
Yeah.
That could have been stress related.
I think with holiday related breakouts, what happens when you can go on holiday is your skin... Was you wearing SPF?
Nope.
No. Okay, so
and the ozone layer is like ruined in New Zealand as well.
Yeah. So when you don't protect your skin basically tries and does it for you.
Oh, I see.
So you're like, it creates like a layer of dead skin, so that the melanin in your skin, basically a tan, goes brown to basically stop it from ruining
Really?
the DNA.
Wow.
Yeah, so that could be why, because
That's
dead
crazy.
skin cells and oil creates a breakout. That's basically how. Yeah.
Nice.
So that maybe your answer. You
Yeah.
should have been wearing SPF.
But it would have been such a big change from, because the ozone layer is like, I was joking, but it is way thinner,
Yeah.
and there's holes over there,
Yeah.
and the sun, it affects you, so it burns you immediately.
Yeah.
You go out there and it's like, ouch, you know. So it would have been a complete change of climate and environment for me.
Yeah, definitely.
But it wouldn't have looked like it.
No.
It wasn't like I'm like in safari all of a
Yeah.
sudden, or you know, I was just sort of, seemed the same.
Yeah.
But that probably was why.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Interesting, isn't it? So another question I wanted to ask you is, have you got a skincare routine?
I only want to shave.
Okay.
That's literally it. And you know, working with you and knowing you now with what you're doing here is something that I need to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I need to. And like, I actually do find myself now, if I do Lincoln's sun cream,
Yeah.
I'm always just like, sun cream on myself.
Yeah.
But the
Good.
routine isn't there for me now. I figured, like, this is, you said you wanted a male perspective, right?
Yeah.
So I've not really had to shave forever. Literally in the last 6 months,
Yeah.
my face decided, yeah, go on then, you're ready now, you're 31, you can start having facial hair.
Yeah.
And because of the luxury of not having to shave at all, I could literally just use clippers or an electric shaver.
Yeah.
So I had an electric shaver, and as I started to shave more, the electric shaver would absolutely ruin my skin.
Yeah.
Ruin it. I'd get like red patches
Yeah.
of tiny little spots. Like not even, I wouldn't
Like a
even say that they
rose
could.
burn almost.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they weren't even what I would say were proper spots. They weren't
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm a spot.
Yeah.
They were just like, I'm posing as one,
Yeah.
but I don't really think I am one. And loads of little ones. So I went to razors
Yeah.
and haven't had an issue at all
Oh.
whatsoever.
See, it's interesting you say that, because a lot of people have the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Alan, whenever he actually shaves, he gets like full on breakouts.
Really?
Yeah. Really
Well, I find
interesting.
going in the shower, I don't know where I picked this up
Mhm.
somewhere, going in the shower first.
Yeah. It
Kelly
gives you
always
pause
goes,
of
she's
time.
like, why do you take so long? And I'm like, well, because I have to do it after a shower.
Yeah.
I picked that up somewhere, I don't know
Yeah.
where from. Have a shower first, then shave, and always go in the direction of the hair
Yeah.
that it's growing in,
Yeah.
right? Whereas I used to always just chop it, you know,
Yeah,
go,
just go
yeah.
wherever, yeah.
So now it's going with, and I think
Yeah.
that has had a big help, I think,
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But no routine,
Yeah.
need to get one.
And if you was to go into Boots, Tesco's, anywhere, Debenhams, like, would you feel okay to go in and look for a skin routine, or would you be a bit like, oh, like, are people judging me, or?
I
How
would
would you
feel
feel?
fine because
Yeah.
I have to go into my hair scrunchies.
Oh, okay.
So it's like,
yeah.
no, I would
you'd
feel fine, but I can absolutely see how a guy who's never, like, maybe he's bought toothpaste, like Shockwaves from Wella hair gel,
Yeah.
and Lynx deodorant, and like never deviated from
Yeah.
those products. I can see how that would be an intimidating thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you know what to look for, or
No,
no, not at all?
I'd go by label, which I guess is dangerous because it's whoever shouts the loudest wins.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So what, like, in terms of a skincare product, would you want to use? Like, what would scream out, hello, I'm here, pick me? Is
I
there
think-
any words, any colours, or?
Yeah, interesting question. Like the only time I've ever sort of been in that way is when I first started working full time, which was back in 2006, 2007. I was working here in Andover, but at the gym at the time,
Yeah.
and I was on shifts, so I was doing like earlies and lates, and all of a sudden like started getting bags under my eyes,
Oh no.
and I was like, this is awful. And I went into Boots,
Yeah.
and I actually bought some like cream that said dark eye,
Circles.
dark eye circle, like cure or whatever it was called. Yeah. And so that's the only time I'd been sort of in that, like, oh shit, I need something. Where's it? Oh, that one seems to. And it was because it was a brand that I knew of. So it was like L'Oreal for men, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, it just said on it, if you've got dark circles, use this.
Yeah.
So then I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Okay,
So I can
that's
literally,
my
I can remember the
miracle
smell of it
fix.
and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think I even finished the tub, but like, yeah. So I can see how if I was going in again and I'd be like, what do I do? I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't want to stay in there long.
No.
So I'd literally think it is whoever shouts the loudest wins.
Yeah.
Whoever's got the marketing campaign. I mean, Nivea have got the Liverpool squad and they're all on it.
Yeah.
They're in the adverts and everything, and so they're on the radar for these guys. Obviously, Gillette, they've got massive presence.
Yeah.
And I think it's just about that whoever markets it best.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting. So, ingredients wise, do you know anything?
No. I mean, to be honest with you, the only thing that stayed in my head would be the extra special ingredients that they market, like ginseng or like caffeine, which is clever because those two things especially are also being marketed in other things like energy drinks,
weight
chocolate,
loss stuff.
which is like, hey, you're struggling with something, have this magical thing, oh, it must be good, is the risk, and maybe it's not, I don't know.
We were actually talking the other day about like science and stuff like that as well, and I said to Tommy, it's quite interesting because not a lot of people want to know about the science stuff, they just want like a miracle cure cream. So I think, what do you think about all the sciencey stuff? Like, do you care or not? Like, no judging here. I know Alan couldn't care less about like all the sciencey side of skincare, and I think a lot of my friends are a bit like, okay, but like, do you find it important or not at all?
Subconsciously, I think it's important. So I think if you think about how an advert should look, traditionally through the 90s and the early 2000s and now, we've been conditioned in an advert, whether it's hair, skin, or anything cosmetically related, it's like there'll be a model and there'll be like a thing and something pleasant happening, and then it'll go to like the science, and it's like this chemical goes in here and it does this and it makes that happen.
Wow.
And it's so subconsciously I think we kind of crave that because we think, well, it must be good if it has that, because that's how they all go. But in terms of like, hey, have you heard of this ingredient called da da da? I don't think there are many guys or humans anywhere saying, oh, have you heard of chemical
retinol?
Like that's not the defining thing. The product is the defining status of conversation, not the chemical, I find. But I honestly haven't got a clue. Like, it could just be sugar water. Do you know what I mean? Like a placebo. The ingredient, I don't know, what's the smell? I think smell is higher up in terms of awareness, priority, like affiliation than ingredient.
The actual ingredients, and that's so true. Really, really true.
So if you talk the loudest and you smell the best in terms of a product,
Tommy sold.
Most people I think would be. I
want to ask you one last question. If there was one thing that you could say to help with someone suffering with their skin right now, what would it be?
Well, I mean, in terms of finding the right road, that's where you and people like you, what you're doing comes in. And I would trust that they would find the right solution eventually. Okay? So it's not like going to be anything about that. In terms of my 2 pence, it would be that what your body is now does not dictate what it can be in the future. And I think that's kind of like any situation, whether it's your like physical stature, whether it's your hair, whether it's your skin, whether it's your teeth, anything can change. And when I think back to when I was like peed off every week because there'll be another one, and it's like, would you just leave me alone? And you know, I can't be confident today. I tell myself I can't be confident today because. And actually, my biggest sort of skin problem has been cold sores throughout my life, big time. Like I have my own cup, my own straws. That I don't touch anything that's touched anyone else, because I feel like in my head the story I'm telling myself is I'm super sensitive to them. But that's been a regular thing for me, so I can't be confident today because. So I think that the advice would be, your body is what it is now, and you know, that's fine. It doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever. And the reason why I'm sharing this advice as my kind of thing is that the moment I told myself, and it's about perspective and gratitude, okay, what's really going on here? You're pissed off because you've got a spot. You're pissed off because you've got a cold sore. Like, for fuck's sake, it's going to go.
Like it's not as if you've like world.
You've lost an eye, or like which is a permanent thing, or you've got something that is there forever. And I know it's not about, oh, there's people worse off than me. It's about your own internal perspective of just be grateful that you've even got skin in the first place, or that you're even alive, or that you've even that you can even think. Bring it down from a superficial level just down to the pure gratitude for being able to look in the mirror. You know.
Wow.
It's a bit of a deep one, but
that's like the best.
And it was very long-winded.
No, that's good. Well, thank you so much. I've got a high standard to keep up now.
Yeah, whoever your next guest is, like, let's go. You've got. Nah, it's great that you're doing this, and more people need to know that there are alternative ways to learn, because the learning stops if you go into a shop and pick something up just because it is the loudest and smells nice. Like the learning literally stops, doesn't it? And it is you got to learn.
It's so easy to do as well. When you're in a rush and you just can't be bothered with all the faff, you just pick up whatever. One example of that is about 3 years ago I did a blog post, and it actually went viral, and it was Banana Boat Kids Sun Cream that was SPF 50, and it had a UVA rating of 2, which is pretty bad. And that's a kid's sun cream. And then like there's the Tesco's Own Value one, which I think that one was £8 and this one was like £2, and that had like 5-star UVA rating, SPF 50, and you just think, wow, like it's crazy how they can market something for kids which isn't going to protect them as well. It's just mental.
Learning. You've got to be learning.
So anyway, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And where can people find you?
On anywhere really with my name, it's quite easy to find me. So at Tommy Gentleman on Instagram. Equally, you can find me there. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube.
Everywhere.
Podcast. pretty active, because like you, feel like there's a job to do here, and have something that I believe in equally as you believe in your areas of expertise. So we're doing what we can to be everywhere.
Tommy also has amazing talks and Instagram videos and YouTube videos about confidence as well. So if that is something that you really struggle with, then check his videos out. I can't recommend them enough.
Thank you very much.
So see you later. Thanks.